In Vancouver, the gap between the rich and poor is growing at an astronomical rate. In the community in which I live and work, in the West End, there are 2 food bank depots. We see more and more folks who are working full-time, who are in food bank lineups, accessing charitable food. To present our proposal on making Vancouver a fairer city, please welcome my friend Gail Berger and Mary Lynn Diana and Lou Black.
Hi, I'm Gail Berger. I'm a member of Gloria Dei Lutheran Church. The causes of poverty are many, but the results of inadequate income are obvious and costly in terms of health, education, crime, and family breakdown. In Vancouver, nearly 20% of children live in poverty. Even if a child grows up in a family where both parents are working, there is no guarantee that a family will not be poor. Minimum wage cannot lift a family out of poverty. In British Columbia, 43% of poor children live in a family with at least one parent with a full-time job. Metro Vancouver Alliance supports the living wage as a way of preventing poverty. Research shows that it requires 2 full-time salaries of a living wage of $20.10 per hour for a family of 2 adults and 2 children to have a basic but adequate income to live in the Lower Mainland. The benefits of a living wage are clear. Companies that have chosen to pay the living wage retain their employees. They have far less turnover of employees than companies who don't. Employees who are fairly compensated are more connected with the value of their work and have higher morale. People who are paid a living wage spend those dollars in their communities, contributing to the economic base. People who are paid enough to live on don't have to take 2 jobs just to pay basic costs. There is time after work to be with their children and participate in community activities. Metro Vancouver Alliance wants to congratulate New Westminster's City Council, which has already become a living wage employer. Introducing a living wage makes economic and political sense. A poll conducted by the Columbia Institute showed that 67.1% of respondents agreed that their city should adopt a living wage policy. You have the citizens of your community on your side to make Vancouver a living wage city.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Marilyn Diana. I came to Canada through the Live-In Caregiver program in 2000. The day I stepped into this country, I felt that this is the place I wanted to live with my son. I am a single mom of 1 child who was 6 years old at that time and is now 16. I raised my son by myself without any financial support from my son's father. After my live-in caregiver program finished, I found a new job at Vancouver Hospital as a housekeeper working for Compass, the private contractor. The wages were $9.50 per hour. Then we joined Hospital Employees Union and got wage increases. But still, we could not meet my needs. So I went to school taking long-term care aid for almost a year. It was a struggle for me and for my son because I went to school during the day and to work at night. When I could get home at 1 a.m. from work, I still had to cook for the next day and study for my lesson. I only have 2 hours sleep a night. Getting up early to make sure that my son did his homework before school and drop him in school in the morning. I could not get a care aid job because you're supposed to be on call, and the hours is not guaranteed. I'm scared to give up my present job for something insecure. Now, I'm paying off my student loans for almost $200 a month. I pay that. I pay my rent. My 3-zone monthly bus pass is $160. I also have to take the cab from the SkyTrain to my home because it's so late at night and it's not safe for me to walk and wait for the bus going to my home. The cab cost is $240 a month. I live in Surrey because I live in my relative's apartment and my rent is more affordable this way. Between rent, transportation, telephone, student loans, food, clothing, school expenses for my son, life insurance in case something happened to me for my son. I am very careful with my money, but still, expenses are more than my earnings. I end up overdraft in my bank account each month. I have no savings, no pension plan. My son wants to be an art teacher. I want to support his dream. But how can I support him to go to college? If I earn a living wage, I wouldn't have to worry about my son will get through school. I don't want him to be in debt like me, but it seems the only option for him is to take student loans. If I have savings, my son could start to build up his future after school instead of starting paying out in debt. Thank you for hearing my story.
Metro Vancouver Alliance commits to campaign tirelessly for every working person in Vancouver to be paid at least the Vancouver Living Wage of $20.10 an hour, to work towards all of our member communities becoming living wage employers, and to support the Mayor of Vancouver, Council, and City staff on introducing a Vancouver living wage policy. Candidates, Metro Vancouver Alliance is asking you to commit to becoming a living wage employer for all employees who work for the City of Vancouver and for all employees of companies who are contracted or subcontracted to work for the City of Vancouver. We also want you to promote the living wage to other municipalities and employers. Thank you.